Jai Swaminarayan. Good morning to all. Today I am going to teach you Unit number 5, the Ailing planet, the green movement's role. This is the article, and this article was written by Nani Palkiwala. So, before starting the chapter, let's discuss about the author. Nani Palkiwala. His full name was Nanabhai Palkiwala. He was an eminent jurist and economist. The following article was written by Nani Palkiwala and published in the Indian Express on 24th November 1994. So this article was published in the newspaper The Indian Express on 24th November 1994. The issues that he raised regarding the declining health of the earth continue to have relevance. Here, declining means process of becoming worse, very worse in the condition. So in this article, the declining health of the earth continue to have relevance. So let's start the chapter. One cannot recall any moment in world history which has gripped the imagination of the entire human race so completely and so rapidly as the green movement, which started nearly 25 years ago. So here in this chapter, the writer says that he had the earth declining health. First off, he was telling about the earth's declining health. First of all, Nani Palkiwala introduced the green movement. So what is the green movement? This was started in New Zealand in 1972, and this was the first effort to save the earth and was to realize that what is the condition of our earth, what is the real condition of our earth. That was a very strong movement, and that type of movement didn't held before it, because entire human race was involved in it and everybody concerned with it. Nani Palkiwala written this article in 1994, and so almost green movement was started nearly 25 years ago. In 1972, the world's first nationwide Green Party was founded in New Zealand. Since then, the movement has not looked back. So, nationwide Green Party was established at first this movement in the world. So, 1972 to 1994, that was a period when the Green movement has not looked back. He said that he didn't see a world in mechanic view, but they saw it to a holistic view. Holistic view means a complete view, a living being, like a living being, a complete view. We have shifted our one hope irrevocably from the mechanistic view to a holistic and ecological view of the world. Here, irrevocably means not capable of being changed, and holistic means a complete view, a living, like a living being view, and ecological means earth is changed or shifted. So, the Nani Palkiwala has hope that we change our view. It is a shift in human perceptions as revolutionary as that introduced by Copernicus, who taught mankind in the 16th century that the earth and the other planets revolved around the sun. For the first time in human history, there is a growing worldwide consciousness that the earth itself is a living organism, an enormous being of which we are parts. It has its own metabolic needs and vital processes which need to be respected and preserved. Here, revolutionary means evolving, a complete change. So Nani Palkiwala says that there is also change in human perceptions that exemplify it with Copernicus' thought. So what Copernicus taught? He taught that in the 16th century, he has research on it that the earth and the other planets revolved around the sun. So for the first time in human history, the humans never conscious about the earth, that the earth is living being. Because of green movement, there would be awareness become that earth is itself living organism and we are the part of this enormous being. Here, metabolic means needs of a living organisms that enable them to have a chemical process that causes food to be used for growth and energy. So we take food because it is necessary for us, and food gives us energy. So here Copernicus said that it is our metabolic need and it is very vital. Vital means important. So we realized that earth is also a need, like food. It is a metabolic needs and many important process done in the earth. So we have to respect it and preserve it. The Earth's vital signs reveal a patient in declining health. So again, all the necessary things, Earth's situation is a very decline or very worse. We have begun to realize our ethical obligations to be good stewards of the planet and responsible trustees of the legacy to future generation. So here, steward means it is a person who manages to look after something. So Nani Palkiwala said that it is our moral responsibility that we should manage the earth because we have to give good legacy to our future generation, the coming generation. We have to provide them a greatly earth, not a worse earth. The concept of sustainable development was popularized in 1987 by the World Commission on Environment and Development. The concept of sustainable development. Sustainable development means economic development without depletion of natural resources. So, this concept was popularized in 1987 by the World Commission on Environment and Development. In its report, it defined the idea as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. That is, without stripping the natural world of resources future generation would need. So we all know that the earth provides us two type of resources. We have already learned it. So two resources is renewable and non-renewable. So we should take wide step for it, that how we can use this type of non-renewable resources so that it couldn't deplete. The concept of sustainable development was popularized in 1987. So here, stripping means without depriving something of all its possessions. So we have to give natural world of resources to our future generation because they also need it. In the zoo at Lusaka, Zambia, there is a cage where the notice reads, "The world's most dangerous animal." Inside the cage, there is no animal but a mirror where you see yourself. So, here, author says that there is a zoo at Lusaka in Zambia, and in that cage there were a notice, "The world's most dangerous animal." But inside the cage there is no animal in that cage. But if we see in the cage, we saw our own reflection. So author says that the world's most dangerous animal is not an animal but a humankind itself. Thanks to the efforts of a number of agencies in different countries, a new awareness has now dawned upon the most dangerous animal in the world. So, in this paragraph, author defines that human is the most dangerous animal in the world. Hence, the author wants to describe that in the world, the biggest enemy of the earth is human being. Nowadays, there are efforts of number of agencies in different countries draw awareness. A new awareness has now dawned upon the most dangerous animal in the world. He has realized the wisdom of shifting from a system based on domination to one based on partnership. So, now human beings understand that we should not determine the earth or not waste it, but we should work together. So, we have to work with a partnership. Scientists have catalogued about 1.4 million living species which mankind shares the earth. So scientists researched that about 1.4 million living species, different kind of species, which lives with mankind and which shares the earth with humankind. Estimates vary widely as regarded the still uncatalogued living species. Biologists reckon that about 3 to 100 million other living species still languish unnamed in ignominious darkness. So here reckon means calculate and languish means be forced to remain in an unpleasant place or situation. And ignominious darkness means deserving or causing public disgrace or shame. Here catalog means to make a list of something. So it is our equal responsibility towards living species because we share the earth with them. So human being has not think about themselves only, but also think about another living being who shares earth with us. So biologists calculate that 100 million other living species still languish, still not be forced to remain in an unpleasant place or situation, and it is lives in ignominious darkness. Ignominious darkness. It means some species which are not listed, and scientists find that almost 3 to 100 million other species are not discovered yet. One of the early international commissions which dealt inter alia with the question of ecology and environment was the Bandit Commission, which had a distinguished Indian as one of its members, Mr. L.K. Jha. So, one of the inter alia means among other things. Internal Commission means Bandit Commission, first report published in 1980, and its Independence Commission, its first chairman was Willy Bandit, a German chancellor. So this commission deals with ecology and environment. In this Bandit Commission, there was one Indian member whose name was Mr. L.K. Jha. The first Bandit report raised the question, are we to leave our successors a scorched planet, advancing deserts, impoverished landscapes, and ailing environment? So, in this Bandit report, Brandt report, it raised a question that here scorch means something that is burned, the surface with heat or fire. Impoverished means made poor. Ailing means in poor health, and successors means our future generation. So, author says that this Brandt report raised the questions like on this earth we faces many problems, but are we leave our successors to this type of situation? So this is the main question which raised by Brandt report. Mr. Lester R. Brown, in his thoughtful book The Global Economic Prospect, points out that the Earth's principal biological systems are four: fisheries, forests, grasslands, and croplands, and they form the foundation of the global economic system. So, he had also written in this book about the global economic prospect, which was written by Mr. Lester R. Brown. In this book, he had written about Earth's four main biological systems, four biological parts. Which are that four parts? Fisheries, forest, grassland, and cropland. And these are the basis of our global economic system. Or we can say that our economic system based on these four parts. In addition to supplying our food, these four systems provide virtually all the raw materials for industry except minerals and petroleum derived synthesis. Synthesis means artificial substance. Here Nani Palkhiwala said that the main four biological systems, this provides raw material to industries except minerals and petroleum industries. In large areas of the world, human claims on these systems are reaching an unsustainable level, a point where their productivity is being impaired. Impaired means damaged. So, human claims that this system and its productivity is damaged. So, our industries can't work with it, so that man could not be sustained. When this happens, fisheries collapse, forests disappear, grasslands are converted into barren wastelands, and croplands deteriorate. So, what happens if the productivity of these four systems are damaged? Here, wasteland means barely inhabitable piece of land. Deteriorate means become progressively worse or decline. Here, he talked about these four systems. Fertile lands become barren, which cannot be used to take any type of crop. Fish is a prominent source of protein, so men eat fish for protein. Here, in a protein conscious and protein hungry world, our fishing is common every day. In poor countries, local forests are being decimated in order to procure firewoods for cooking. So, fish is the prominent source of protein, so men eat fish for protein. Here, decimated means to reduce in number, and procure means obtain or get with care or effort. So in poor countries, poor people can't get fuel for cooking because they use firewood, because firewood is the cheapest fuel, so they used it for cooking. In some places, firewood has become so expensive that what goes under the pot now costs more than what goes inside it. At some places, firewood is also very costly, so poor people can't use it because what they eat or what they cook. Since the tropical forest is, in the words of Dr. Myers, the powerhouse of evolution, several species of life face extinction as a result of its destruction. Here Dr. Myers gave a statement that tropical forests are the powerhouse of evolution where maximum number of species existed. If it destruct, then what happened to the other species? It has been well said that forests precede mankind, deserts follow. So here Nani Palkhiwala gave impactful statement. Because of our unthoughtful action, we cover forest into desert. We convert green land into barren land. So we convert forest into desert and we also convert green land to the barren land. So we cannot get any type of crop, and what should we eat? The world's ancient patrimony of tropical forest is now eroding at the rate of 40 to 50 million acres a year, and growing use of dung for burning deprives the soil of an important natural fertilizer. So every year 40 to 50 million acre forest is destroyed, and nowadays we use animal waste like dung as a fuel so that our natural fertilizer can lose. We can use it to increase the productivity of land, but man uses it as fuel, so it doesn't convert into fertilizer. So fertility of our land is destroyed because of this. The World Bank estimates that a 5-fold increase in the rate of forest planting is needed to cope with the expected fuel wood demand in the year 2000. Now we are living in 2020. When Nani Palkhiwala returned this article in 1994, the World Bank estimates that forest plants for numbers of trees plant, we use 5-fold increase. We should use it as 5-fold increase. We should increase the forest. James Spath, the president of the World Resources Institute, said the other day, we were saying that we are losing the forest at an acre a second, but it is much closer to an acre and a half of a second. Now James Spath. Who is James Spath? James Spath is the president of the World Resource Institute. He stated that we were saying that we are losing the forest at an acre a second. We are just saying that we are losing it acre a second, but it is much closer to an acre and a half to a second. So the government trying their best for saving earth or protect wildlife and other species, but we feel pain because we lost it. We lost forest, not acre but acre a half to a second. Article 48A of the Constitution of India provides that the state shall endeavour to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard the forest and wildlife of the country. What Article 48A says? Article 48A says that in our Constitution of India, it says that we should protect or improve our environment. We should grow forests and we should save wildlife of our country. But what causes endless anguish is the fact that laws are never respected nor enforced in India. We all know that. We feel pain because India has never followed laws. We all know that we have never followed laws. For instance, the Constitution says that casteism, untouchability and bonded labor shall be abolished. Our Constitution, casteism means discrimination on the ground of caste. Our constitution said that we should not discriminate casteism, untouchability and bonded labor because this shall be not allowed. But after 44 years of the freedom, 1994, we all know that today this flourished. But they flourished shamelessly even after 44 years of the operation of the constitution. A recent report of our parliament estimates committee has highlighted the near catastrophic depletion of India's forest over the last 4 decades. Here, catastrophe means calamities and depletion means destroyed. Our parliament's estimate committee reported that in 40 years, the forests of India are destroyed. In India, the part of the forest area and the depletion rate of forest area in 3 to 7 million acres a year. So, according to reliable data, it loses its forest at the rate 3.7 million acres a year. Large areas officially designated as forest land are already virtually treeless. The actual loss of forest is estimated to be about 8 times the rate indicated by government statistics. So, the forest area in India is 3 to 7 million acres a year. The government rated 3.7 million acres a year was estimated to be about 8 times of the rate according to statistics. A 3-year study using satellite and aerial photography conducted by the United Nations warns that the environment has deteriorated so badly that it is critical in many of the 88 countries investigated. Now, United Nations used satellite and aerial photography and studied 88 countries and investigated that in this 3-year study, they interrogated that the environment is in the critical condition. It is very worse condition. There can be no doubt that the growth of world population is one of the strongest factors distorting the future of human society. It took mankind more than 1,000,000 years to reach the first billion, that was the world population around the year 1800. By the year 1900, a second billion was added and the 20th century has added another 3.7 billion. The present world population is estimated at 5.7 billion. Every 4 days, the world population increases by 1 million. We all know that the main reason of the human society's future is the growth of world population. So, Nani Palkiwala says that 100 years ago, the population rate was 3.7 million in the 20th century. But in the present day, the population is estimated at 5.7 billion. So every 4 days, the world population increases by 1 million. So it is a very dangerous topic. Because of it, unemployment should rise and world population affects the earth a lot. Fertility falls as income rise, education spreads and health improves. Thus, development is the best contraceptive, but development itself may not be possible if the present increase in numbers continues. Author says that unemployment gets risen because of this population, because the poor people produce child, so they become poor and can't feed their children. It's not means that everybody gets job. Voluntary means done of one's free will and caution means force. So here Nani Palkiwala says that the rich get richer and poor get poor. The rich get richer and the poor beget children, which condemns them to remain poor. Because of the population, these things happen. More children does not mean more workers. The poor people have many children, they produce many children, but it not means that everybody get job or everybody get employment. Merely more people without work, because of this they are laid without work. It is not suggested that human beings be treated like cattle and compulsory sterilized. But there is no alternative to voluntary family planning without introducing an element of correction. The choice is really between control of population and perpetuation of poverty. Here Nani Palkhiwala says that We could not treat human beings like cattle and couldn't sterilize them. He also added that if we couldn't force them for family planning, then they didn't do it voluntarily. People doesn't understand about it. Perpetuation means multiplications. We should aware people that if you do not control of population, poverty would be increased and they could not survive in it. So awareness should be there. So we should aware them about these things. The population of India is estimated to be 920 million today, more than the entire populations of Africa and South America put together. No one familiar with the condition in India would doubt that the hope of the people would die in their hungry huntments unless population control is given topmost priority. In 1994, the population of India is 920 million. It is more than the entire population of Africa and South America, which are continents with full of total population. Unless population is not controlled, development would not be possible. So according to Nani Palkhiwala, the main priority for developing country is to control the population rate. For the first time in human history, we see a transcending concern, the survival not just of the people but of the planet. We have begun to take a holistic view of the very basis of our existence. Transcending concern means a concern that existed for a very long time and has passed down from one generation to another generation. So we should realize that if the earth would survive, then the human being would survive, because we should exist when earth would exist. The environmental problem does not necessarily signal our demise. It is our passport for the future. So we should save the environment because it is a passport for our future. The emerging New World Vision has ushered in the era of responsibility. It is a holistic view, an ecological view, seeing the world as an integrated whole rather than a dissociated collection of parts. So we should not use any type of resources of earth versely. We should use it equally and in limitation. We use it in combined way. How we use it without exploited it. So we should use limited. Industry has a most crucial role to play in this new era of responsibility. What a transformation would be effected if more businessmen shared that view of the chairman of DuPont, Mr. Edgar S. Bullard, who 5 years ago declared himself to be the company's chief environmental officer. He said our continued existence as a leading manufacturer requires that we excel in environmental performance. So here why industry has a most crucial role to play in this new era of responsibility, because consumer of all raw material, industry provides it all raw material. Here DuPont is a big company and businessmen like DuPont, Mr. Edgar S. Bullard, who they have 5 years ago declared their company's chief environmental officer, means CEO. And he also says that our existence is required on these industries and we should excel in environmental performances. So we should provide material which suitable to environment so that it wouldn't affect environment. Of all the statements made by Margaret Thatcher during the years of her prime ministership, none has passed so decisively into the current coin of English usage as her facetious words, "No generation has a free hold on this earth." So here Margaret Thatcher, who is prime minister, she has give an important decision and she quote the words, "No generation has a free hold on this earth. All we have is a life tenancy with a full repairing lease." In the words of Mr. Lester Brown, we have not inherited this earth from our forefathers, but we have borrowed it from our children. So we are tenant of this earth and we should repair earth as we use it. Here freehold means permanent tenure of land of property. Fallacious means well chosen and decisively means clear and definitive. So Margaret Thatcher already says that no generation has a freehold on this earth, and the same Lester Brown also quoted that we have not inherited this earth from our forefathers, but we have borrowed it from our children. So we should save the earth then and then our childrens live in this environment. So, here our chapter is over. Thank you.